What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Reese Motorsports, Corey's Garage, your home for the Franken-7 ARC-7 project. Um, did not get as much done today as I was hoping for. The play-by-play goes, start off the day with a trip to the post office. The trade deal worked out for the intake swap, so my Speedmaster aluminum intake is now on its way to Connecticut, and the LS6 intake that will be taking its place is on its way here from Connecticut. So that worked out really well. Shout out to PJ Stokes from the ARC-7 pages on Facebook. Thanks again for the trade deal, man. I appreciate it big time. So I took a trip to O'Reilly Auto Parts. I looked up Advance, I always check that up, AutoZone and O'Reilly's, and to look for the four new front brake calipers and rear brake calipers. I got the part numbers for those, at least from O'Reilly's, to start, and talked to a lady at the counter. She sent a letter to corporate requesting the part order, and while I was there, I went ahead and picked up another oil filter, this time a Wix, because I think Wix are actually one of the best filters you can get outside of, like, you know, K&N, Pure Later, Pure One, stuff like that. So picked up a Wix filter, and I got a roll of 3/8 brake line. I'm not real impressed with it because I forgot how much of a pain it is to bend your own brake line. So I don't think I can take it back because I made some bends and some cuts already. So I have probably 23 feet of 3/8 fuel line, still fuel line. But anyways, so I picked that up, picked up the spark plugs. I forgot how expensive Iridium spark plugs are, but I picked up 8 NGK Iridium spark plugs for this engine. So I did get those installed. The grade 8 bolts and stuff I got yesterday from the local hardware store to reinforce the engine mounts and swap those out. Got those put on. And then the oil filter was kind of a funny little snag. So this is a reproduction OEM replacement LS1 oil pan with the improved racing baffle kit I installed. The threads for the where the filter screws on, apparently on these old oil pans are metric now. I guess when they switched from Gen 3 to Gen 4 LSs, they changed that specific fitting to metric from SAE. So I wasted one AC Delco oil filter because I got a PF46, and apparently it needed a PF48, and I did not know that until today. So the SAE standard threaded oil filter obviously would not go on. So talked to some ARC-7, well, just some LS people online, actually, and they clued me in on the thread change. So they said to get a like 5th gen Camaro oil filter, and that will screw on. So took my Wix back to O'Reilly's, got that switched out. That worked, so that was a great fix. Thank you, guys. And then I checked in on the brake calipers from earlier in the day, and apparently you cannot get them. So as far as O'Reilly's is concerned, the reman, sport brakes, the 4-piston fronts and single piston rear for the vented disc for the GXL and Turbo 2, those are no longer available. So a single tier was shed for that. But we still have Advance and AutoZone to check in on tomorrow. Let's see. So I started trying to bend these fuel lines, and I don't know if it's just because 3/8 is so thick, but if you've ever had to make your own brake lines or fuel lines, if you don't have a bender, it really sucks because they kink really easy, and you can only straighten out the kink 2 or 3 times before the metal becomes brittle and then snaps off. So I ran into that and got pissed off, and so I'm just going to go full rubber hose. The pros and cons of each: you go with metal hose, it's probably initially safer because it's metal, but of course if it's metal, if it kinks, you're screwed. If it leaks, you have to find the leak and either replace the whole line, or you can, you know, cut out the kink or the leak and add like a union type thing, which I really rather not do. And it's more expensive. The rubber hose, you know, it's cheaper, it's easier, of course it's flexible, but you do run the risk of, over time later on, the line or the hose drying out, cracking and leaking. But I guess you could still get home on that. So I basically have to eat $30 for a roll of 3/8 fuel line, but I guess there's worse things. So I'll get probably 25 feet of 3/8 rubber fuel lines and high pressure clamps tomorrow. And then I'm going to check on those brakes. So I've got the front caliper bolts and suspension bolts and everything soaking with PB Blaster right now. The coilover should be here hopefully in a couple of days, so I can go ahead and throw those on. And I'll get the front calipers off probably here in just a few minutes, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see before I go to the auto parts store. But I want to have those ready for cores in case they need those up front for the price, because O'Reilly's was the cheapest for all four. It was going to be like $348. I think Advans came in second at $384 for all four, and I believe AutoZone was like $400 and some change for the brakes. So I guess that's a little high. I don't know. I know some people, I know in the 240SX world, a lot of people are going to CTSV Cadillac rotors because basically they're huge Brimbos and they're cheap. Or, of course, if you're in the 240SX world, 300ZX, R32, R33, R34, whatever. All the calipers are interchangeable, and RX-7s are not quite the same interchangeability. But that's all right. I'll figure something out. Worst come to worst, if I have to, God forbid, I'll rebuild these, but I really don't want to. So let's see. We talked about the spark plugs, got those in. Talked about the motor mounts and the grade 8 bolts, got those in. Talked about the oil filter issue, got that in. Oh, got the wheels and tires mounted today, and they look great. I've got some pictures I'm going to put on my Facebook. I'll put this video link on the Facebook in the morning, but I'll show you real quick. I think it turned out really nice. So they're a little bit of a stretch. They are a 215/45. So here's what they look like on the car, and pay no attention to that paint. I did that like a year ago. That was just kind of a trial run of just some colors. I don't know if you noticed in the background on the other side, but the other fender is white because I couldn't make my mind up if I wanted to go white or dark blue, and I think I like dark blue better. But I'm going to be using a satin finish, and this is a standard gloss finish. So, but yeah, there's the poor man's Advans, the 94-95 Mustang GT 17x8s. They're very lightweight, and there's a little bit of a stretch on this tire. But these tires are Lexani. They're made in Thailand. They seem like a decent tire. They're a... See, I always get mixed up with the tire number. So we got 215/45 ZR17. If Z is the rating, then they should be very sticky, and they feel very sticky. So they'll have a short life, but hopefully they'll hook up pretty well, especially on the rears. But I just set this up there. I don't even have lug nuts in it right now, but I just set this up there just to kind of see what it looks like. And then from the side, of course, it's not bolted on, but it looks like the fitment's going to be spot on. If you can see that, it's kind of hard to see. It's not like this paint is decent, but the fitment looks like it's going to be spot on. So I won't have to do any fender flares or anything at this time, which I'm kind of bummed about because I do like the old school like 240Z style fender flares. And you know, I kind of like that look, but I don't know if it really looks that well on FCRX-7s or not. So anyways, yeah, that's all I got for today. What parts did I get in today? I got the glass pack, which, you know, I'm using for a resonator. I got a couple little things. I'm trying to remember. I got the glass pack. What is this? Oh, if anyone needs some Part Shop Max PBM is it PBM or Part Shop Max? Anyways, I got the first set of solid rear trailing arm bushings, but the other company, the JJLR, is sending me a full set. So it's got the DTSS steer eliminators, it's got the upper and lower, it's got all the solid bushings for the rear outside of the solid diff bushings and stuff, which I may or may not run later, we'll see. So those are on the way. I think they're coming from Canada. I keep getting email notifications from Canada parcel service. Sorry, this glare of these lights is just unreal. So anyways, that's really all I have for today, unfortunately. I was hoping to get more done, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Still waiting on lots of parts. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have an update tomorrow. I'll try to get those fuel lines at least ran up to the fuel filter, the Corvette C5 fuel filter / pressure regulator combo. And hopefully I'll have some good news that some brand new calipers are on their way. So that'll be great. But you guys take care. I'll catch you tomorrow. I'll upload the pictures on my Facebook, and we'll talk to you soon.